that stretch to our coworkers, our colleagues, our community. So it's really about seeing how we can make other people hit their successes. And to be a little more specific on how we're going to go about doing this and the next steps, I'm going to lead it off to Tommy or Dave. Tommy? All right, Tommy. You guys shared that. I didn't know which way it was going to go. Both of them can speak on it.
I'm going to do something.
You can do something? Okay. Yeah, interpretive dance, please.
So we came up with the 7-step program to help us move on, and this will help us become a great unity group as individuals and as groups. So first one is communication plan. We want a very clear communication plan that everyone can understand and have different avenues of communication. So whether it's email, video, websites, your most common ones. We want to make sure that's always pushed out. We also want to do kind of like a grassroots campaign where we go out to different areas and kind of recruit people and invite them and let them know what this is all about. Also having red tours, luncheons, one-on-one meetings, stuff that we have done in the past to get more people involved and more feedback. Second is a social network. I believe a social network will help build connections, serve as a hub for collaboration. We want a site that's real easy to use, in and out, and a site that everyone can hook into, whether it's through an email or through other tools that we currently have, so not another separate place. Personal liquidity, just like she mentioned, it's kind of like the musical chairs where you're with director and buy-in, you're able to, part-time go on to another project that you're very interested in, complete that project and know that you have the security of your shares still there, your job is still there, and that is not taken away. Next is physical space. We propose 3 different spaces on all 3 campuses. And it's kind of like a space like this where everyone can collaborate, brainstorm, and just have fun and be creative. We feel having these spaces and having this interaction face-to-face can draw a lot of creativity. Next is a question service. So we propose a ranking system for all these ideas that come in, and that they get nurtured and they build up, and the more eyes are on it, and when the community sees that and it kind of bubbles up to the top, we know that this is very important to the community. And so we can rank it and then take these questions, implement it, and then thus creating a service to the university. 6th step is idea contest. So to get ideas kicked off, we want to maybe have a contest of people or teams submitting in ideas and let those ideas battle and let the community vote on it. The top one would, the winning idea would win, I don't know, a week's off work or whatever is allowable. So just to get this kicked off. And then last, we've got our 12 to 16 people that form this original work different group, and so we want to expand this out, and we want to do these presentations and make other people aware of what's going on and give them the knowledge to champion this initiative, thus growing out this core group. So, and then last, to finish it off,
Silence my cell phone, don't want to ring it. Thank you, Tommy. This is, I think, probably the 6th or 7th time we've done this discussion. Each time, I'm getting a little bit more every time out of it. I was part of the original 12, but the things that they talked about, the things that we're proposing here, isn't just something in theory. Isn't just something that we think may happen. We actually did this. We practiced this. We implemented this, if you will, in a microcosm. But this is something that we actually did. We implemented. We used virtual space. We used a separate physical space where we could, come out and collaborate with each other. We use things like Google Wave. We use things like the Insight to foster, creativity and creativity And these icebreakers that you saw, we put these things into practice and actually saw it work and saw it come into play. So it's not something that we think will work, or may work. We know it will work. We gave this presentation to the directors, I think it was about 2 weeks ago. And one of the things that Kendall, he usually gives this briefing, that he emphasized, want to emphasize is we don't need permission necessarily for this to go forward. We're not looking for any type of money or any type of, yeah, here's your green flag, go ahead and go with it. And he actually told the director that this is going to happen whether you like it or not. And it's interesting, at the end of the meeting, all of us, the part that were in the Work Different group came up and stood behind him, because that's a pretty bold thing to say, and we stood up behind him, and Dennis got up and walked up and stood with us after this. So, but having said that, we do want to emphasize that you can throw fire on this. You can accelerate this and help this move by doing things in your Good to Great meetings as coaches, talking about this Work Different, bringing the icebreakers in, give it a shot and see how it changes the atmosphere of your work different, or your Good to Great meetings that you have. Bring in notepads to talk about things. And I'm trying to think of all the points that Kendall hit here, and I don't want to miss any, so let me know. But this, we've got some steps that we want to go forward. Those 7 steps that Tommy talked about, and feel free to ask us about it. And if you want, champion one of them. Help form maybe another Work Different group, or ask for that to further expand where we're going from here. So we thank you for coming out and giving us your time, and it's open to any questions you may have on it. So feedback too.
Absolutely. How do you see this fitting in? Do you see it fitting in? Do you not? Does it just sound like a concept that's floating around?
My take on it, I think it's a great concept. I think it's where we need to go. I'm interested in the tools that are going to be the enabler to make a lot of this cross-pollination occur. Something that comes to mind, one of the reasons that, it's, I wouldn't say difficult, but one of the things that prevents me or makes me go, every time somebody says, meeting at North Campus 404 or meeting at Merrick, it's like, okay, that kills like 40 minutes of my day because it's 20 minutes to drive there and 20 minutes to drive back. So what can I do with, to either save myself that 40 minutes, or if it's a trip to the Health Science Center and back again, what can I do to save myself that hour or hour and a half if traffic's bad? To make that time more productive, or to figure out a way to get around that mental thing that makes me groan every time I think I have to travel. And something that immediately comes to mind is, video teleconferencing. Just about everybody, assuming you're a big fan of Apple, you already have a camera built into your laptop, or your desktop probably has an eyesight attached to it somehow. I mean, how can we, leverage desktop level video conferencing to really make that interaction happen a little more quickly? How do we make people more approachable, more easy to reach, without having to worry about that physical distance being a barrier or a limitation or something that makes people groan every time they feel like they have to cross that physical barrier from side A to side B. So I'm going to be interested in the tools that develop out of necessity as a result of this, and I'm kind of excited to see where it progresses.
Couple things on that where Corey had erased that boundary here. So that's what's nice about the community is there really is no boundaries, right? So the community helps itself evolve, helps itself, change into whatever it needs to be to get the job done. The second thing is we didn't go into it too much, but the things that we see this, kind of initially and what we'd like to put in place, and this is where you throw the fire on it and help it move faster, is there's going to be a combination of both physical and virtual spaces. And this question service that you saw up here, and again, I don't know if we use that term, but we see that starting in the virtual environment, like I said, because people, don't want to just get up and go to Norman, or get up and go to HSC because they have a great idea. But if somebody, submits this idea into this question service, virtually the community will start to latch around that, and it will start to pick up